There we go, headed down the road on our journey to our next amazing adventure. Welcome to episode 9 of PFM Adventures After Dark. I'm Alicia. As always, I'm joined by the co-host of the show, my one and only human, and my future husband. Jason, we're getting closer and closer to life on the road.
Hell yeah, we are. And once we leave Buffalo next year, we have so many places to visit, so many sights to see. Our plan is to enjoy a nice blend of nature experiences along with a cool city vibes. And we're fortunate to be joined by a gentleman who is no stranger to one of America's largest cities.
Some of our listeners might be familiar with our guest this week. For those of you who are not, joining us today is Dave Zalatoris, host of one of my favorite podcasts called Beer in Front, which can be found on all major platforms. Dave, welcome. And please tell everyone a little bit about your show.
Well, thanks for having me, first of all. Nice to meet you in video screen finally. Yeah. Nice to see you again. I've had the show out for a little over 4 years now. So right around the start of the pandemic, I started it. Like you mentioned, it's available on all, wherever you're listening to you right now, you could listen to me. So you don't have to search very far. Also doing a couple things with video on like Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. So you could find me there under the name Beer in Front. But yeah, once again, thanks so much for having me.
Yeah, absolutely.
It is great to see you again, Dave, and thanks for coming on. So
yeah, no problem. Thank you.
Delicious beverage,
Megan.
What's
Did you
that?
have a delicious beverage?
Oh, delicious beverages.
Ooh,
As you know, in every episode, we do a quick review of something new that we haven't had. Today, that something is a liqueur called Malort. And apparently, Dave, you have had what we are about to try a few times and thought we should try it too. But based on what I've heard, I have 2 questions. First, why are you doing this to us? And secondly, what is Malort for those of us who haven't had it yet?
Well, I sent via social media earlier a couple of their slogans, but another one of theirs is when you want to unfriend somebody in person, Malort. I think it's a Swedish. It originated there. So if you've ever had Besk, that's very similar to Malort, but the taste is like grapefruit, but not like the nice part of the grapefruit, the white pithy part that's bitter, gasoline, and dirty feet. So if you combine all 3 of those with a little regret, you have you some Malort.
That's fantastic. So I watched a YouTube video about this earlier, and it kind of made me a little scared. I'm not going to lie. But yeah, what I understand is if you are in Chicago, you got to try this.
Yeah, and it's not like a sip and drink. Like you wouldn't have this on the rocks or you just got to chug it. It's a shot. So it goes down a little slower in the mini bottle. It would go down a lot faster in a shot glass, but yeah, you get to savor it a little more this way.
Yeah.
So in other words, this isn't, I brought out glasses. Don't pour it in the glass. Just take it right out of the bottle.
It's your show. Yeah. You do however you want.
Oh, but I guess we gotta. All right, let's open this thing up and see.
And I'm off medication, so I'm going to have this with you.
Nice.
Oh, thank you.
I had to do some NA beers for a day or a week.
Okay, so it doesn't.
It smells like.
It's not as. So what I had read was
all I smell is my lotion. Vanilla.
Anise and wormwood is what I. So I was expecting something to come out smelling like Jaeger or absinthe or something like that, but it's not.
Yeah.
So
I can't smell it. That's a problem.
Well, I guess that's part of the mystery. So
I'm literally sticking my nose to the bottle.
Yeah.
That's not really smelling. All right, well, let's do this.
Yeah, all right.
To episode 9
or
Dave. Yeah, we're doing whatever we got to do.
I didn't do the whole thing.
Yeah.
So I got a quarter of a way in.
Yeah.
So the going down part's not too bad.
It tastes like something I'm familiar with.
It does.
Bile?
No?
No.
It really does.
It's the aftertaste.
There's something in there.
So it's like you got to keep drinking it because it's the aftertaste. It's not.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, you just got to take it all at
Ooh.
once.
Yeah, the aftertaste is. You're still going for it.
Yeah.
I'm committed.
Yeah.
Chug, chug, chug.
There's a little bit left. I can do this.
Yeah.
I kind of want to know what it tastes like.
Gasoline.
No.
Yeah.
It's still fire.
It's the pithy.
Yeah.
I get the pit. The
Yeah.
pit.
Yeah.
The grapefruit.
So it's not the worst thing I've ever had.
I like
Mhm.
grapefruit. So
Yeah.
I really do taste like it's like the pit of the grapefruit.
hmm
Not bad.
So this is our review part of the show. So smell, it didn't really smell. I didn't get anything on the smell. Taste, I can't put my finger on it. So I'm going to have to pass on figuring out what it tastes like. But there was something very specific that I thought of when I tasted it. And I can't remember what it, I can't. It's
Cleaner.
drive me nuts. No, it was like a food or it was something. Anyway, would you drink it again?
Well, when you come here, you
Leave it.
have to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would, but it leaves a strange feeling on my tongue.
So
Like I licked something.
and then of course our new favorite, phrase on the show, thanks to Alicia's mom, is would you pair this with a pizza?
Pair it with a pizza. You know what? I actually would.
Would you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, but like you said, it's not a sip and drink. So you got to pound a shot down, go chase it with the beer, and by all means, yeah, have it with the pizza.
Have it with a pizza.
Yeah.
So Dave, is this is literally just a shot. No one sips. You said this already. No one sips and drinks.
Yeah,
this.
no one sips it. There's a couple places around here that they've made like a hard cider that have been aged in Malort barrels, and there's some like a hard seltzer that's like mixed with Malort, and that's not bad. But yeah, nobody's ordering like a Malort martini or anything. No, it's just the Chicago handshake is a shot of Malort and like a mackerel beer, like Old Style, which is still popular here in the city.
Oh, that's all right. That's fair.
Yeah.
So someday we're going to share a Malort with you, Dave, in person.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I'm proud of
survived.
myself.
You
I
survived. You are
survived.
doing well.
Yeah.
I finished all of it.
Yeah.
And my mouth still feels weird.
It does.
Got like that
I have-
film on it or something.
It's like
yeah.
I've licked the fuzzy part on a peach and it won't go away.
That's an interesting description.
Yeah.
All right, I've rehydrated.
Yeah.
I'm going to reach across the camera while you read your next line here and grab that bottle of bourbon.
Bourbon Chaser. All right. So a couple of weeks ago on episode 7, we talked about international travel. But as we get ever so close to the start of our great skoolie adventure, we sometimes talk about cool places that we plan to visit. And like Jason said earlier, we plan to hike nature trails, find remote places to explore, and enjoy nature. And Jason's over here emptying the whole bourbon bottle.
It was almost empty.
But we do love the Fun City experience as well. So we thought it'd be fun to pick your brain a little bit and learn some things about your hometown in Chicago, Illinois.
Yeah, that's right, Alicia. So behind New York and Los Angeles, Chicago is the third most populated city in the United States, which means there's a lot to do, see, and experience. Dave, I know you were born in Chicago and have lived there your entire life. Let's start with the more well-known. Before we get to the beer, what overall, in your opinion, are the top few things that a visitor to the Windy City has to experience and why?
Everybody goes downtown, like you see Buckingham Fountain on, what was it, Married with Children, like that fountain was proudly displayed in the open. That part of downtown is really cool. There's a lot of shopping, a lot of dining. And downtown's just like a huge city downtown. But for me, Chicago's all about neighborhoods, and every neighborhood is different. And in the summer, it's so cool. Like every neighborhood will have like a weekend festival with local bands and local food, drink, and summertime is great. So you could, no matter where you're staying in the city, you shouldn't find, or it wouldn't be difficult to find something cool to do in that little pocket on any given weekend. But yeah, the neighborhoods are what make the city. And no matter where you're staying, like there's Greek Town, there's like a little Italy. There's so many different like cool ethnic pockets, and no matter what kind of food you like, you'll find it here, and you'll find some good, authentic food from all over the world.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, and I was actually going to ask you because the closest I guess I've experienced to that is, well, I've been to New York City and Toronto, but because Toronto was close to my hometown of Buffalo, and being in Toronto, there are little pockets of ethnic groups, and it's really kind of cool because you literally can go from Chinatown 1 minute to Little Italy or whatever the case might be in the next move. So that's really kind of cool that exists there, and that's good to know because in music, yes, music, we're all about music, yeah.
Yeah, the variety sounds amazing.
Yeah,
I look forward to experiencing that for sure.
Yeah, like you mentioned music in the summertime. We have Lollapalooza here, which I'm getting a little too much gray in my beard for Lollapalooza.
Oh.
But you have other festivals like Riot Fest, if you like old school punk, to Pitchfork. I mean, there's a lot of big music festivals here, throughout the summer.
Yep. And
so if we come during the summer, would you attend Lollapalooza with us? We're great too. It's fine.
Yeah, I'm looking at the lineup that was released, and I used to go every year, and now there's maybe like 2 or 3 names that I know. I'm like, I think time has passed me by.
Isn't it funny how that happens?
Yeah.
As I trim my
gray hair. Happens. All right, so let's dive just a little bit deeper here. So we both love food, and we know that Chicago is famous for deep dish pizza and Chicago style hot dogs. So is there any place that just sounds like or stands out above the others that really kills it when it comes to those foods and probably of equal or more interest to us? Can you tell us about some of the hidden gems as well? And we're all about supporting the smaller local business and maybe a great coffee shop or mom and pop diner, or maybe some awesome food trucks like Mr. Chewy here in Coleman. We just want to know all the food secrets.
Chicago is a great eating and drinking town. So when you come to Chicago, bring your stretchy pants because you're going to put on a few pounds. It's what happens. And it's a meat eating town. So like if you're a vegan and you don't drink, I can't help you with that, but it's a really good eating town. You mentioned deep dish pizza, and that's like what we here call for the tourists. I mean, I'll eat it now and then, but that's not my pizza of choice. What most people in the city have, it's called like tavern style, and it's really thin, like cracker crust. And it's excellent. And like, we don't cut it in triangles. It's cut into squares, which everyone, if they're not from here, is like, what the hell is this? But that's how we do it. But most Chicagoans locals will eat what's called tavern style, and it's really good. Deep dish is good. There's a chain that's called Lou Malnati's that's specific to the Chicago area. I think they have 1 or 2 maybe in Phoenix, but that's really good. And you could find it no matter where you're staying. And their pizza's excellent. Whether you get the deep dish or the thin crust tavern style, you can't go wrong. Hot dog spots, there's one, if not multiple, in every neighborhood. The same thing with the pizza places. Like there's little mom and pop shops all over, no matter what part of the city you're staying in, that you're going to get a great meal. And like we have hot dog stands here all over. If there's one that I would suggest that you go to, it's a place called Wiener Circle. And it's not for, if you get offended easy, this is not the place for you, because they're known for abusive, insulting behavior. And it's hysterical. And people will go there, they're like hammered at 1 a.m. to go get like a hot dog. But if you get a chance when you're done, Google like Conan O'Brien and Wiener Circle. He did a skit, and that's what it's going to be like. Like, I don't know if on the show you swear, but like, they'll MF you and they'll just like insult you, and it's hysterical. But that's a place that, for an authentic Chicago dog, hit up the Wiener Circle.
That's awesome.
I'm here for it. We have a place, well, it's not in Alabama, but in Tennessee, called Dick's.
Okay.
And they do like that. Like they just harass you and make fun of you. And you have to wear like these big poofy hats, and they write obscene things on it about you.
Like, yeah, I'm not even familiar with this.
Yeah,
no.
like I could go in there and like my hat may say like short and fat or something like that. You know? Like, it's hilarious.
So I guess I probably should have thrown down the ground rules. This is After Dark, Dave, so you can swear if you need to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
but no, they'll like insult you, your heritage.
Yeah.
It's just everything, but it's just hysterical. But yeah, get a chance, Google Conan O'Brien and Wiener Circle, and it's like you'll laugh your ass off for 5 minutes straight. It's that funny.
That's awesome.
All right, we're
Yeah.
going there.
I do have a question, though, back to like just circling back around to the pizza thing. So my perception, and maybe this is a perception thing, my perception was Chicago deep dish pizza. But you're basically describing the tavern pizza as if it were a New York style thin crust pizza. No.
This is a lot thinner than New York style, and it's like crispy.
Whoa.
So it's not like towards the middle. Yeah, you get like, it's not as crisp, but like you eat them in smaller pieces, and it was designed that way for taverns. So, because Chicago was a huge tavern town back in the day, because a lot of taverns didn't want the expenses of plates, forks, and knives, so they'd cut it into smaller squares so you could just hold on to it with the napkin and eat it with your hand.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it was crispy enough that it wouldn't fall all over the place. So that's how like the tavern style became popular. And that is by far, if you go to any mom and pop place, tavern styles like their go-to.
That sounds like really right up my alley because I personally prefer thin crust pizza, and I like the crust a little crispy if I can get it that way, which is like really hard to do here. So I tend to overcook my own pizzas just to try to get that crust like that. So
yeah, we definitely turned this into a pizza discussion, but
with pizza.
Well, while we're talking pizza, and I know you guys are in Alabama, and I'm thirsty after that Malort, so I want to crack open Blood Brother Straight to Ale, and this is from Huntsville. So I want to bust this open because I did a show, or I'm doing a show on Huntsville as we speak. So I want to crack this open and have that. I figured this is the perfect time to have it while I'm talking to you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and that's only 45 minutes north of where we live, by the way.
Yes, and let's take this minute. I'm going to promote your show, Dave.
Okay.
Dave has a great. I mean, I love Dave's show, and that voice that you hear is magic, and you get to hear that every week on Beer in Front. So, exactly what Dave just did, he will do every week, or mostly every week, anyway.
Yeah.
Is this your first time having this beer?
Yeah. No, it's really good. It's a sour. What is this?
Yeah, go ahead and give us a little. Dave,
it's a Belgian style double with blood orange. So no, this is really good. I had a lot of foam there, so hold on one second.
Yeah, it's dark.
That's good. Like you get a lot of like the candy sugar in there, so it's sweet, but then like you get that blood orange at the end, and I don't know how much of my taste buds are tainted with the Malort. So I probably should have had this first. So I don't want to give them any bad ratings here, but no, I think this is good. It's got the sweetness is excellent. I don't know, 8% alcohol, so this has a nice little kick to it. But no, yeah, this is really good. I would definitely drink this again. And I know you mentioned that like they had a double IPA that was really good. Okay.
Yeah, I don't remember what it's called though, but I remember it's in a green can.
Okay. No, this is definitely something I'd pick up again.
Yeah.
Put it in the cart, Dave.
Yeah, put it in the cart.
Put it in the cart.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. I got to go back to the hot dogs because I'm still doing follow-up questions now. Are the hot dogs, because we all know Chicago style hot dog has certain toppings and we all know, different whatever. Are there ethnic specific hot dog toppings? Is that a question? Does that make sense? What I'm asking?
It could, but no, the Chicago dog, like a lot of people call it like a garden on a bun.
Okay.
So it's everything, your pickle spears, your onions, your tomatoes, your peppers, everything but ketchup. You do not put ketchup on a Chicago style hot dog or on any hot dog in the city once you've passed puberty. So you can't do it. Like a lot of like places, like they don't even have it. Like they'll give you a packet for your French fries,
Mhm.
but they don't put it on a hot dog. It's just, there's books
Unspeakable.
written about it. I made my niece cry one time
Oh,
because
no.
they moved here from Dallas and she was like 5 or 6. And I'm like, no, like if you put ketchup on a hot dog, you go to jail. Do you want to go to jail? And I made her cry. So, but no, there's a book and I showed her the book, Never Put Ketchup on a Hot Dog.
That's great.
Yeah.
Do not put ketchup on a hot dog inside the city limits of Chicago.
Yeah.
I've kind of called that like the kitchen sink hot dog, but I'm all about like fun toppings on a hot dog, but I admit I'll put ketchup on there sometimes. But I served us hot dogs the other day and they were all beef hot dogs and I put pickles on them. They were actually bourbon bacon.
Bourbon?
Maple. What were they? All right. I am drunk on the Malort. They were maple bourbon pickles. They're good. And they were good on the hot dogs.
Oh, those are the best.
Yeah.
You can get those at Walmart, by the way.
Yeah.
Really?
Maple bourbon pickles. If you've never had them, try
I'll
them.
I'll have to look. I can't have too many windows open here. I don't want to lose connection, but I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. So obviously Chicago is an urban jungle with tall buildings, concrete, and pavement everywhere. Take us outside the city for a minute. What are some cool areas to visit when you want to get away from the city?
Depending on how far you want to go, which I've limited this to like 2 hours or so of a drive, but there's a couple spots I definitely recommend. One is the Botanic Gardens, which is from the middle of the city, maybe 45 minutes away. It's in a suburb and it's just a beautiful area. It's huge and it's just all these wonderful plants and trees and everything. And it's very peaceful and relaxing. Once you get out of the city, there's a lot of like hiking trails that you can go to that are really cool. But it's Illinois. It's the Midwest. It's flat. I mean, you don't get a lot of elevation changes here. But if you want to go, it's probably 2.5 hours. There's a place called Starved Rock, which actually has a waterfall. It's in Illinois. And you're like, no, you're in Illinois. You don't have a waterfall. But sure as shit, there it is. And that's like really cool. It's a long drive, but it's a nice hike if you want to get away, see different things that you wouldn't see in a big city. But definitely like Starved Rock and the Botanic Gardens are like two places that I love to go to.
That's awesome. So it sounds like we need to spend quite a bit of time there.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes.
You need more. Well, I think with any place, like larger place, you're never going to see everything. It's just so trying to squeeze everything into a long weekend, say, it's just not possible. But just go and, whatever you're going to see, you're going to have a good time seeing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. You got the thumbs up for doing nothing. I have no idea why that happened.
I'm like, wait, is this live? What's going on here?
Here we go.
Yep,
it's a party
thumbs
now.
up.
So you know what this means? We're not letting Dave off the hook here. So
all right.
since you're like
some balloons,
the Chicago beer guy.
Oh, wait a minute.
We gotta ask.
Oh no, you're not. Yeah, no, you're not there yet.
I'm not there yet.
No, you're not there yet.
You're gonna make me wait.
You're a step ahead.
You're gonna make me wait.
I had a follow-up question, anyways.
Okay, fine. Go ahead.
I had a follow-up question about that, but
are we fighting?
We're not. No, but seriously, so we did a show a couple weeks ago about international travel, and this is specifically about that. But have you been? Obviously, you've been outside the city of Chicago. I know. I believe you still work for the airport.
I do. I have a back injury, which has limited my travel for the last year or so. But no, I think I still work for an airline. Once I'm healed from my back injury.
Yuck.
Getting old. Anyway, but so I mean, and it's funny you say that because, and I was going somewhere with this. Chicago, you said it's very flat. It's amazing that there's a waterfall there. Most people know I'm from Buffalo, which we have a giant waterfall. It's called Niagara Falls. You might have heard of it. And even down here in the South, one thing that I've learned about Alabama, it's basically New York, 10 degrees warmer and 700 miles away. It's literally the terrain is the same. We have lots of hills. We have some waterfalls. We have water. We have trees. We have all the things. Like if for you've been in Chicago, you were born and raised there. outside of the city, and I mean, I should say outside of the state, have you had
Okay.
the chance to experience some cool places that to you are kind of like standoutish? You know, like, oh my God, there's a waterfall here, or there's terrain here. You know?
Like I really loved Mexico City
Oh,
outside of the States. Like that, the elevation was really high. And then you're climbing pyramids, which like I'm gassed. But that was really cool. I mean, that's like one of the larger cities in the world, which I really liked. The food there was great. Um, Places in the States, like I like New York City. That's cool. I would like to go back there again.
it's just a big Chicago, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because I've been.
You know, it's
yeah. One urban jungle is another urban jungle.
yeah. I haven't really hung out in like downtown LA, but like I thought San Francisco was cool, and that was like hilly as fuck. It's just like, oh my God, like I'm gonna die here. Like that and Seattle, which is another one. Like you're just climbing I'm like, oh no, I'm from Illinois. We don't climb. No. But yeah, like Seattle, I think would be one of my favorite cities, like here in the States, which is like a lot of fun things to do. But I really love international travel. Like if I could go to like one place in the world again, I would probably just have to go back to Rome.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. And this fits in really well with what we're kind of doing. And I don't know if you're familiar, but anyone who's kind of becoming familiar with us, right outside the window behind us here is a bus, literally a school bus.
Yeah.
And we are converting it into a home on wheels. And in about 129 days,
Yep,
we're headed back
129.
north to Buffalo to go up there and hang out for about a year while my daughter Megan, who's the Delicious Beverage girl, graduates from high school. And then after that, we are going wherever we want. We both have remote jobs, and that's kind of the plan. So it's going to be kind of cool. And anytime we talk to anybody, it's neat to find out where they've been and where we should go, and not just this is in the box place, but what are the cool little places that are outside of the box, you know?
Yeah. Well, I'm just thinking like from where you are to like where I am, like Asheville was such a great town, North Carolina. I don't know, how far away you are from there, but I loved Asheville. Such a cool, I mean, it's a great beer town. Then you have things like the Biltmore there, which you could spend days in the Biltmore. That was such a cool thing to do. And I love Memphis too. Memphis was just an awesome town.
No,
Yeah.
Memphis is one state away from us, and I'm from the north, so
Mhm.
I just basically pass by everything to come to you. Have you been to Memphis?
I have, but I didn't spend a whole lot of time in there. I've spent more time in the Chattanooga area
Mhm.
rather than Memphis, but Memphis is fun. And I would say there's a lot of culture and stuff there from what, I experienced in a little bit of time that I was there, but it was really fun.
Yeah.
That's cool. So, and back to where we're at, of course, whether you live in a massive city or a small town, you don't, and you mentioned this earlier, Dave, you don't see or experience everything. So what's on your Chicago bucket list that you haven't gotten to yet?
Like there's a lot of restaurants that like you look and you see like here, the 39 restaurants, top restaurants, and you're like, I haven't eaten there. I haven't eaten there. Most of the things to physically see, I'm 56. I pretty much have seen it. I've been to ball games everywhere, concerts everywhere. I think a lot of it would be like food. Like there's a lot of classic old school Chicago steakhouses that I haven't been to yet. So I'm like, that's a place I need to go to and just have like a phenomenal meal and just like old school from the 50s
Yeah.
steakhouse with like a martini or an old fashioned or Manhattan or something like that.
That
That's
sounds
awesome.
amazing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that leads me to a question,
Mm-hmm.
and you got to answer correctly. What is the correct way to eat a steak? Like, how should it be cooked?
See, as I get older, I'm now medium well.
No.
Yeah. When I was younger, I would have it like on the rare to medium rare side.
Yeah.
I don't know. As I get older, I'm more of medium well now.
Yeah. Stomach can't handle it.
Yeah.
Is there a reason for that?
I don't know.
Because I'm only
There
8
is.
years.
And I know this answer because I'll tell you why I know this answer. But if you eat it like not medium well or like below like medium or rare, your body doesn't digest it as easily. And the reason I know this because for those of you that don't know, I have twins. I have 3 daughters, but one set's twins, and that's a high-risk pregnancy. So when I was pregnant, my doctor told me I could not eat steak unless it was cooked well done. And I cried. I literally cried. But he said it was because your body doesn't digest it if it's
So there's a
quote
scientific
uncooked
reason.
red meat.
Yeah.
So there's science behind this
Yeah.
situation.
And I didn't eat steak the whole pregnancy because I can't eat it like that. I have to eat it like mooing. I literally cried.
But now, like if you like, like a lot of hamburger places, most of it is like, almost on the well done side. So that doesn't bother you?
No.
Okay.
No, that won't bother me on those.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, I thought this was just an age thing. Dave, you're 8 years older than I am. You're 8 years younger than I am. We won't talk about that. But anyways, so I thought maybe it was an age thing because I'm like, oh, I'm gonna call Dave every time I like, hey Dave, what's gonna happen next year?
Well, next year you're gonna become lactose intolerant.
Oh, boy.
Or like you're not gonna be able to put half and half in your coffee or have like lasagna with ricotta cheese.
Oh,
so
sweet.
that'll be your next thing that's gonna happen in the next year or so. So look forward to it.
Fantastic.
All
So apparently I just want to repurpose both of our podcasts right now. Anyone who's listening, this is no longer about beer or adventures. This is about getting old. So if you want to know what's going to happen at the next stage of your life, listen to Beer in Front, listen to PFM Adventures.
Yeah, this is like depends in front. Yeah, so when you get older, yeah.
That's why I said something about that today. Remember?
You did.
Because I was like, I'm done adulting. We don't have to adult. Or no, you said you don't want to adult anymore or something like that. And I said, well, you only have to until you're back in diapers.
Exactly.
And then you don't have to adult anymore.
It all just goes around in a circle.
It does.
Yep.
It does. All right. So can I ask my question now? Because I really,
you can.
I really have to
just
know
gotta,
this, and I'm excited.
Listen, here's a big secret, everyone. We follow a script. She got
I don't.
She got
I don't follow
It's
the
okay.
script
It's
because
fair.
I'm excited
No
about
worries.
this one.
Go ahead. Do it.
But Dave, he's the
Yes.
Chicago
you're
beer
right.
guy.
This is a good question.
It is, and that's why I'm excited. The Chicago beer guy. So of course we're gonna put you on the spot. So we really need to know like top 3 breweries in Chicago and the overall experience, really, like atmosphere, selection, and of course quality and taste.
And that is a tough one because there's a lot here in the city. It's a ton of breweries here, but I would say for somebody coming up from out of town, there's like 2 places. One is called Revolution, and they were one of the first craft breweries here. Like their first location opened in 2010, which for like craft beer is like the olden days.
Mhm.
Yeah.
They make a variety of styles. So whatever like style of beer you like, they'll make it and it's good. They have 2 locations, one that has like more of a sit down restaurant, which, you could eat there. They have another giant tap room. And they're both great. So that's one I would definitely recommend for people to hit up because they'll cover all the bases. If one person's like an IPA guy or one person likes, lagers or sours, you'll get something at Revolution. So that's one. Half Acre is another one. Huge outdoor area. So it's nice in the summer, nice place inside. The food's really good. Everything they make is good, but they're kind of more known for their IPAs. So if you like IPAs, that place might be right up your alley. There's another one, Old Irving Brewing, that killer. Everything they make is great. Food is spectacular. It's a little smaller than the first 2 places I mentioned, but if you go during the day, not a problem. I mean, but their beer's top shelf. And there's like one last place that a lot of people aren't IPA people. They like lagers or old school German style beers. There's a place called Dovetail, which luckily for me, I can walk to, but oh my God, just phenomenal old school beers done in the German tradition or European tradition. And they're all phenomenal. You could order food on like Grubhub or something like that. They don't have any food there, but the beers are just spectacular.
Awesome.
Very nice.
So I have two follow-up questions because
Yeah.
everything brings follow-up questions to me. So number one is, and you've probably answered this on your show somewhere, and I haven't gotten through all 4 years of the catalog. My apologies.
That's all right. The only one that has is my mother, so you're good. Don't worry about it. Yeah.
Is there a style of beer that is absolutely your preference? I know you have to be part, you kind of, when you're doing the review thing, you got to kind of be, but is there a Dave beer?
Well, it's whatever the beer that's in front of you is.
Of course it is.
Right, yeah. But I love, it was the first beer I ever had on the podcast, the first craft beer I ever had back in 1989, Samuel Adams Boston Lager, which is in the Vienna lager style, where it's a little darker. I love that. An Italian Pilsner, which is basically a really light Pilsner, but it's dry hopped, which gives it a more bigger hop aroma. That's excellent. And there's not a lot of places that make those styles, but if I were to go to a brewery and see a Vienna lager or an Italian Pilsner on the menu, that would probably be my first order.
And since you said if I were to go to a brewery, we just talked a lot about Chicago during the show. What's the coolest brewery or top couple of breweries that you've been to outside of Chicago?
Outside of Chicago, was really cool was New Belgium out in Fort Collins, Colorado, which is a huge place. And this was before the whole Voodoo Ranger phenomenon that took over the world. But it was a huge facility, really cool. The tour was great. I'm not a big fan of brewery tours, but this was really good, and I really liked that one a lot.
Excellent.
Sam Adams in Boston was a fun time. I mean, it was a good tour. That was one of the first ones I did back in the late 90s. It's oh, wow, this was really cool. And you'd get to go there and sample, all the beers. And, I'm sure it's changed in the last 20 years, but I thought that was really good. And I haven't been back to do it again, but I would go back to the original Sam Adams again.
That's fantastic. It's kind of funny, you say that, because my brain doesn't comprehend Sam Adams as a craft beer. I don't know what.
Just like the other day just like last week when we had
Blue Moon.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was kind of a small brewery that started out, 1995. When we did the NA version last week, we're 1995. That seems like yesterday. Breweries are supposed to be around forever and ever and ever, unless you're a local craft brewery.
How was the NA? That was the one I didn't have when I did Dry January. How was it?
It was great.
It was good.
Okay.
We really, really enjoyed it.
Okay. I'll have to pick it up because, I've been drinking more NA stuff, whether it's hop waters or beers. But, we'll have to talk later. I make my own hop water.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I'm here for it.
I feel like you want to ask Dave about any beers that are out there.
Well, probably so, because I've been getting into it because, liver's an important organ in your body, for one thing. Yeah. And then also if you're on the rooftop of a bus or something, or work during the day, I work from home, and I like flavor of beer. For me, it's about flavor. It's not about getting drunk or the alcohol for me necessarily. So I've been getting into NAs. Yeah. But I've been doing a little bit of research, and it's starting to really broaden out, and there's a lot more available than what there used to be. So that does have a question. What's your favorite one that you've tried?
They're based out of Illinois, and they're called Go. And I've had their owner on a couple times. They make a really good variety of styles. I think you could buy them on Amazon, but Sierra Nevada, which is a national company, they have a pale ale, which is very similar to an IPA, but so I would choose that one. If you see, if you like darker beers or stouts, AleSmith out of San Diego, and I'm able to get it here. They have a stout called Speedway, but their NA version, Oh my, like you would not know that's a
Really?
non-alcoholic beer. It was that good. If you like the darker stouts, but you had all like the chocolate, the coffee notes out of the malt in that.
Mhm.
For an NA beer, that was really good. But like go make a variety of styles, really good sours. That would probably be, and it's local, so I could pick it up anywhere. So it's easier for me to get. But like go would be that if I'm not having like a hop water.
Mhm.
Wow.
Yeah, we had the Sierra Nevada hop water, and that
Okay.
was really good. Enjoyed
Yeah.
it a whole lot.
Yeah, very
Mhm.
surprising when you step outside of the concept of, it doesn't have alcohol in it. What do I do?
What do I do?
Right? It's
Yeah.
like it messes with your mind for a minute, and then you're like,
Mhm.
you start drinking, and you're like, oh, wait a minute, drinking is about flavor,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and all that. I am really interested in this stout situation because,
Mm.
once I've got about 3 months of the year where I can drink stouts because they're too heavy in the summer and the
Mhm.
whatever, but I'm really like, because stouts are usually like 9 to 12%,
Yeah.
and to have a stout that's going to have some oomph to it, that's an interesting. I got to find that.
Why don't you have a Guinness, young man? That's lighter than a Miller Lite.
Well, that's true, but it's
Yeah.
it's not an NA,
Yeah.
young man. That's
Guinness does make an NA, and a lot of people rave about it. I thought it was okay. But no, that Speedway,
yeah,
I would definitely grab that. That was killer.
definitely got to check that out.
Yeah. I wonder if we can order things like that off Amazon.
Well, we can.
A lot of them you
Get
can
them in
because it's
Alabama.
non-alcoholic. Like that
Yeah.
Go Brewing. Like when I was talking to the owner, he's like, they get a ton, most of their sale, a lot of sales from Amazon.
So cover your ears, Jason. I may get a large Amazon package in the next couple of weeks.
Oh, I think I heard I may get a large Amazon package in the next couple of weeks. Apparently,
Yeah.
my ear
Damn it.
covering didn't work.
No, she just said you had a nice package.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for covering.
Yeah.
Do you have any
Yeah.
further questions for Dave?
No, I think I've asked like 100,000 questions.
You're good.
So we're good.
Well, that's awesome. Well, then I think it's time to wrap it
It's
up for
been
this
great.
episode. Once again, Dave, and seriously, like off script, thank you so much
Yeah.
for joining us. It's awesome to meet up with you again.
Mhm.
That voice is amazing.
It's my
listen-
favorite.
It is. You really do. Like you have such a amazing delivery, and I try to pattern myself after you sometimes when I'm doing some stuff on podcasts. So that's awesome. But if anyone wants to hear more from Beer in Front, how can they do so?
You can find me on whatever podcast platform you're listening to. Just search for Beer in Front. I also, for the most part, sometimes I get lazy and forget about it, but I'll put it out on YouTube with just like the static picture of the podcast art. But yeah, on any major podcast platform, you can find me there, or on Instagram, X, or Twitter, whatever it's called now, TikTok. Just search for Beer in Front and you'll find me there.
Fantastic. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Dave. We've really enjoyed having you on.
Oh yeah, it was fun. Nice meeting you and nice seeing you again, Jason.
Absolutely.
Fantastic. So last week we reviewed the movie Barbie and we asked for your feedback in our weekly X poll. So Jason, I'm going to ask, what are the results?
Well, it turns out that, and again, and I want to thank everyone who's responding to these polls, because each week we're getting more and more response, which is great because it means that someone cares. But no, so the movie Barbie, which certainly could be, I would say that's probably a controversial movie a little bit, for the whatever. But 31% of our voters liked it. No one hated it. 56% of people didn't see it, and then we had another, which was 13%, which was, what are your thoughts? So we had two comments that Lady OG, good friend of,
my bestie.
That's your bestie. Angela said, quote, with The Devil's Lettuce, the first 5 minutes is Godzilla-like badass women destroying societal expectations of women. That's a lot of words. That's
It's a
deep
lot
thoughts.
of words.
I can't, after Malort, I can't think about that.
So what she's saying is Devil's Lettuce and watch Barbie again.
Exactly. And Colin from Seismic Cinema thought it was okay. He didn't think it was amazing, as a lot of people did, which I can also see that point of view because, yeah.
You have a penis, so you can see that point of view. Yes.
Facts.
No.
But we keep our polls simple. So with Dave's help, we virtually toured Chicago extensively throughout this episode. Now we want to know about your experience in Chicago. So head over to X and take the poll now, and we will share those results with you next week. But let me just click on this screen right here. Are you ready to lip sync?
I'm ready to lip sync, but
Lip sync.
I need my cheating
Got to cheating because
scripting up here.
we just redid this. It's slightly different from the one you heard last week.
I didn't know the last week one anyway, so it's
No, it took 8 weeks, so here we go.
Speaking of the socials, we are present on all of the major socials. The best way to find us is at PFM Adventures.
Oh.
Visit our Linktree for everything PFM Adventures, including our website, merch store, support links, and of course, our YouTube channel. It's there that you can find out more about our journey into skoolie life. And remember, sharing is caring. Encourage others to listen too, and give us a 5-star review on your favorite platform. And most importantly, we'd truly love and appreciate it if you'd like and subscribe to the podcast and our YouTube channel.
Thanks for joining us. More adventures to come during the day and after dark.
Lights out.